Hello everyone, thank you again for joining me today. My name is Shanae Cartwright. I am the success strategist and I'm empowering people to live the best version of themselves beyond the 9 to 5. I pray that all is well with you today. I wanted to talk with you simply about how we allow people to stop us from living our best lives. If you're interested in knowing how you can stop being that person who allows other people to keep you from living your best life, keep on watching. Okay, are you that person who, whenever something has to be done, you're waiting for someone else? You don't want to go to the store. You don't want to apply for a job. You don't want to take a vacation. You can't go to the movies without waiting for someone else to do it with you. Think about all the opportunities, the experiences that you've missed out on in life because you have been waiting for someone else to do it with you. I can think of several times in my life where I was waiting for someone to do something. I missed out on money, experiences of a lifetime. I've missed out on maybe potential friendships because of what I was listening to someone else saying. But the truth of the matter is that we've all been in that place where we have waited for someone else to get to a different place or to do something, to experience something great in life. In fact, many of us are waiting for people to validate us on how we look, how great we are in something, a skill that we already have, that we know that it's a God-given ability, but we're waiting on someone else to tell us, girl, you did that. Or man, that's awesome. Keep it moving, keep going. But the thing about life is that we have to be willing to take risks. And oftentimes, people are so used to being and living within their comfort zone that they're not going to encourage you to take a risk that they wouldn't take. So why are you waiting for someone else to validate your vision, to tell you what you should do, to encourage you to do what's already in your heart to do? Why not just, like Nike says, do it? It's because we are led more by fear than we are within the risk of taking that first step. I love how I look at the scriptures and I see so many different stories of people who were taking risks. There's one story that comes to mind in particular, and it's the story. Peter sees Jesus walking on the water. While he's walking on the water, the disciples are afraid. They're not sure if it's Jesus. They believe it's Jesus, but they're like, how in the world can this man walk on water? And so Peter does something that none of the other disciples does. He tells Jesus, Jesus, if it's you, tell me to come out on the water. Tell me to walk out on the water. Many people criticize Peter because the Bible declares that when Peter began to walk on the water, he looked around and he saw the wind. Now we know we can't see the wind. It was the wind that was moving the waves. But he saw what was going on around him, the waves that were moving. Of course, there must have been a wind that was mighty strong and blowing. And he looked around and saw the wind, and all of a sudden, he began to sing. Or he looked around and he saw the choppiness in the waves, and he began to sing. Now, mind you, I need to give Peter some credit here because Peter was the only one who, number one, asked, Jesus, is it you? Peter was the only one who dared to have the thought to walk on water to Jesus. Peter was the only one who took the first step and got out of the boat. And so while we oftentimes criticize Peter, Peter was the one who took a risk. That he was willing to possibly and potentially risk his life in drowning just to meet Jesus. But he began to get distracted by the waves. But here it is. He did not allow the disciples in the boat to tell him, no, Peter, I don't think you should go out there. No, Peter, I think you should stay here with us. No, Peter, no one has ever done that before. You ought to stay right here where it's safe. He took a risk. He went out, and yes, he started to sink. But the great thing about it is that Jesus was right there to rescue him. Jesus was right there waiting for him. Peter was the only one who dared to take the first step. And I want to encourage you today to let you know that you are missing out on some opportunities in life because you're not willing to take the first step. Because you're waiting for someone else to tell you how it should be done. Oftentimes in life, we have to fail before we move forward. Listen, you might want to write that down. You might want to tweet that, put it on Instagram, write it in your notebook somewhere. We have to be willing to fail sometimes before we can ever move forward. Because our failures is what helps us to know what went wrong and how we can keep going. The people who are telling you that it can't be done, first of all, you have to make an assessment. Have they tried it? The people that you're worried about being embarrassed in front of, are they taking risks the way that you are? Do they have vision? Do they have lofty goals and dreams, or are they playing it safe? You have to be in a place that when you want better, you have to be willing to do something different. And I challenge you today. We're in the month of May now. We know we're still going through this pandemic, but I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you to take the first step. What is it that's in your heart of hearts that you know it's a desire that's been there for the longest time, but because you're worried about people, you've yet to take the first step? You're worried about what your family is going to say. You're worried about possibly what that coworker might think, what your boss might think, what the supervisor is going to say. And because of that, you're delayed in doing anything. It has to stop right now. It has to stop right now. And I wrote down a few things to stop right now. And I wrote down a few things just so that we can keep going and remind ourselves that life is all about taking risks. Now, think about it. I'm not telling you to do something that is going to potentially cause you to harm yourself or others. But what I'm saying is being able to put in the work to begin to take the first step at whatever it is to better your life. See, the problem with waiting on people is this, is that when we wait on people, we put our purpose on hold. We allow thoughts and doubts and couldas and wouldas and I can'ts to keep us from going forward. See, when we wait on people, it cripples us from becoming our greatest selves, and we limit ourselves to becoming a follower. That's the difference between a person who is willing to take the risk and a person who is so worried about what someone is going to say that they continue to follow the crowd. Listen, when we wait on people, we limit our opportunities because we do not take any risk. I don't know who's watching this today, but there's something that's within you that you know in your heart of hearts that you've put on hold for whatever reason. It's because you've been waiting for this one. You've been waiting for that one. You've been waiting for approval, waiting for validation from your boyfriend, from your husband, from your sister or your mother. Your father didn't tell you you're doing a great job, and so you're waiting. But I want to tell you, today is the day to step out of that boat, to leave the people who may be fearful and frightened because they've never done it before. And they're holding you back from living the best life that you could live. I want you to step out of the boat. In fact, I challenge you to step out of the boat. I dare you to step out of the boat and watch how your life begins to change in that moment. I believe that God is going to give you a different level of courage, that you're going to be in a place where you're going to feel like you can face anything, all because you took the first step out of the boat. In fact, I challenge you to step out of the boat. I dare you to step out of the boat. and watch how your life begins to change in that moment. I believe that God is going to give you a different level of courage, that you're going to be in a place where you're going to feel like you can face anything, all because you took the first step. If you would, write in the comments below. If you would, write in the comments below and let me know, what have you been waiting or putting on hold because of people? Because we got to get past this. We're going to get past this. I know you can do it. I know you can do it. 2020 is not a total loss. Don't throw 2020 away because of this pandemic or because you're waiting for people. And today, thank you so much for watching. And as I always say, a mind change equals a life change. God bless you until we see each other again.